Good day. If you're viewing this, it means that we probably have something that kind of looks like this outside. With the nature of AP being the way it is and the fact that snow days are actually going to be made up after the AP test, it's important that we continue working every single day. So we're going to utilize everything that we have to our best advantage. As we begin to look at how to write an AP free response question, and we're going to be doing this today, and it's a little bit of a review, but hopefully you get from this some key ways to write free response questions and some tips that you can use. Remember, these are free response questions. They're not essays. So each free response question starts with a score of 0. You can only earn points. Points aren't going to be deducted. So here's what you need to do. Make sure that you read the questions very, very carefully. Make sure that you understand what they're asking. Don't confuse yourself. Don't overanalyze. Complete the free response questions that you know first. Don't wait around until or work on them. Just complete the ones you know. Overwriting isn't a good thing in AP US Government because the free response questions that are 2 to 3 pages long normally score about a 0. Your aim should be about 1.5, 1 3/4 pages. Those are the ones that score the highest. Remember, you don't need an introductory paragraph nor a conclusion paragraph. It's very important that you not overwrite and that you understand what you're doing and that you do it completely. Format your answers correctly. Or restate the question in your own words. Make sure you signpost the different parts. Make sure you answer part A, part B, part C. Make sure you answer in complete sentences. And overwrite a little bit. If they ask for 2 things, give them 3. Spelling and grammar, they don't matter. They don't count. As long as they can understand the meaning and the meaning is clear. There's no need for a thesis statement. Just answer the question as they are asked. You don't have to, again, write fancy thesis statements. They're not looking for the fancy. They're just looking for complete answers. When you begin to read the question, underline the power words. The power words are things like define, describe, identify, explain. We're going to talk about those a little bit more as we move on to this video. Make sure you look at numbers. If it asks for 2 things, make sure you do at least 3 things. If it asks for that one reference back to another part of the question, make sure you do that if you want to get the correct answer. In AP US Government, there are certain power words that you have to be cognizant of. And what we suggest that you do is that when you do power words, that you literally underline the word in the essay so that you know exactly what they mean. Define means give a clear, concise, correct definition of a word from the context of government and politics. It's very important that you define the word in the context of government. It may have other definitions, but we're looking for the government definition. If you're asked to describe, give examples of whatever it's being asked. If they ask you to identify, give a 1-sentence, very precise and exacting response to that whatever is being asked be identified. Explain takes a little bit more time. When you're asked to explain, you need to take time. You need to identify and then, or define, and then you need to always give a because. Why did this happen? Why is this connected? Remember, don't give your personal opinion. No one reading the essay really cares what you think. Now let's talk a little bit about the logistics when it comes to the AP US Government exam and the free response questions. The free response questions on the AP US Government exam are a 50% of the test. There will always be 4 questions. You need to answer all of them if you can, and you need to score at least a 3 on all of them to get a 3 on the exam. You have 100 minutes to do 4 questions. I know I'm not great at math, but I think 100 divided by 4 is 25 minutes. So you get about 25 minutes per question. The first thing you should do is sit down, brainstorm a little bit about how you want to answer the question. Write on the test booklet. Write down basically a rough outline of what you want to say and a list of everything you want to say, and use that as a checkoff. Check off as you say what you want to say. Again, make sure that you organize what you're going to say and that you write it very clearly. They want to be able to read your handwriting. If they can't read what you've written, they won't score it. Now let's take a look at a free response question. This is the free response question from the 2000 exam. The Constitution was an attempt to address problems of decentralization that were experienced under the Articles of Confederation. This is basically the statement and gives you the context of the question. So understand we're going to be comparing the Constitution to the Articles of Confederation. You have to take in consideration that time frame. You have to take into consideration that we're talking about the original Constitution, not a later version of the Constitution or the amended version of the Constitution. So first of all, let's take a look. We're going to list, straightforward, just going to list, and we're going to list 3 problems of decentralization, decentralized power that existed under the Articles of Confederation. Then for each of the 3 you listed, we're going to identify one solution that the Constitution provided to address these problems. So you have to take good care of the look. So Part A, we're going to label it Part A, and we're going to write these 3 problems, and we're going to list one solution for each of these problems. Then under Part B, this is a 2-part question. So under Part B, some have argued that tensions between decentralized and centralized power continues to exist. That's whether the central government should have control or whether it should be more diffused power out among the states. So what we're going to do is you're going to make an argument of whether it should be centralized or decentralized or whether there's tensions that exist. And you're going to support this argument by explaining how just one, and all you're going to look at is one of the following illustrates the continuing tension. So we're going to look at pick environmental policy, pick gun control, pick disability access. And you can pick any one of those, and then you're going to address it in terms of the argument that's in Part B, whether or not there is still tension between decentralized and centralized power. If you want to look at environmental policy, you could look at the state of West Virginia. In the state of West Virginia, there was a time when the national EPA was in conflict with the state EPA, and oftentimes the state would give mining companies the go-ahead to have a mining permit. The feds would come in and say, no, you got to follow our rules. And in many cases, those rules were in conflict. In terms of gun control, well, as you know, that's a big argument now, is who should control guns? Should it be the federal government, or should it simply be the states that do that? In terms of Disabilities Act, they're really talking about the unfunded mandate which exists with the Americans with Disabilities Act, which is for states to make public facilities handicap accessible. Now it's your turn. I want you to write the following FRQ standing for free response question, and I want you to turn it into the next day we're back in school. Hopefully tomorrow, but the next day we're back in school. You need to brainstorm. You need to highlight and underline. You need to take about 25 minutes to write this FRQ. It needs to be in your own handwriting, no typing, because they don't let you type on the AP exam, and you need to bring it and turn it in. And I also would like for you to kind of print out the FRQ and show me where you highlighted and how you prepared to answer this. It's up on the screen right now, but what you really need to do is click the blue link at the bottom of this slide, and it will take you to this question at AP Central. This is the question number 1 in the 2001 test. Tomorrow we're going to review this. We're going to look at it. We'll look at the scoring guidelines. We'll let you score it yourself, and we'll see how you do. This is also for a grade, so make sure that you bring it with you to turn in tomorrow. I hope you have a great day, and I hope you didn't stay up too late doing this. But let's make the most of these snow days. Take a little time, learn a little bit, and we'll be much better off for it when we reach that AP exam in May. Have a great day.